This is a day the Lord has made.
Okay, that's for sure a declaration. I wanted to say that yes, this is the day the Lord has made. We actually have a special guest here today.
We do?
And I'm going to declare that. We're talking about declarations today and things that we can do and how to make declarations in a time of trauma. Like
Yes.
that's really kind of what came out of our conversation. So we really want to welcome David Carpenter with us. We have Butch McCracken, he's general manager. Ken Brown, he is CEO of Destiny Global, and I am
Good morning.
Dr. April Brown, Executive Vice President of Coaching here. And we're
Yes.
so glad
Are we
to have our
toasting?
special. Yeah,
Welcome
we
to
have
Coffee with
Yes,
Ken.
welcome.
Welcome,
Say
David.
welcome to
It's just water.
Welcome.
Oh, that's coffee. This is
Yeah.
water. That's the hard stuff.
Yeah. That's awesome. So we were talking a little bit before about what happens in communities like this, a small knit community, that between all of this county, Hunt, Ingram, Kerrville, we're from Comfort. So within this
Yeah.
all small community, what can happen as we've seen people pull together, come with within hours, donations that were overflowing from all over, and people just want to they want to help, they wanted to go do the search. That's where you were found. He was actually on with King's Ransom Foundation, an interview that Samantha did
Yeah.
Samantha
with
Johnson.
him, which went viral. Actually had other news
Agencies pick it up,
pick
broadcast
it up and
everywhere.
broadcast and followed
Millions
you
of
around.
views.
So, and that got a lot of attention for the community, and it was very powerful. We've actually had, how much do we have now for King's Ransom? That was
Over
raised-
$145,000 raised and growing, and we will hit that goal to take care of people in our community.
Long
That's
term.
outstanding.
100% goes to whatever effort that's given. We no overhead, no cost outside of what we do for the families, those who are in need. So we're so grateful to have you here, and your heart. Oh my gosh, I think that's what really resonated in that interview is your heart just came across of just wanting to find and rescue people, and that's what really resonated through that interview. And even talking to you today, just your heart is huge, as big as Texas. And so,
Yes.
You had to say it.
Well, but
I
and
had
people,
to.
yes, and people don't get to see the other side. So we're so grateful that you came in to see us, and then we just kind of captured it and said, "Hey, we're doing Coffee with Ken." April did said, "Hey, come on, you're coming in the studio," and so here he is, right, literally coming right off the river directly in here, and thank you for
My
coming.
Sunday shirt.
Yes, we can see you're ready to go, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's very seldom that you get an opportunity to see the other side of it. So you saw the one side, but I want you to listen as David just takes you on a journey. April's going to ask him a series of questions, but really take us on what it's been like, what you've been going through.
You really shared about how people that go through this experience can really feel like they're not doing enough.
Yes.
And that's a big, huge problem. Emotionally, can take such a toll. And you were telling us about how that really took a toll on you.
Yes,
What
ma'am.
really happened with the interview. People wanted to follow you. You were bringing so many teams together, really organizing a lot, and you were going on very little sleep.
Yep.
So
All true.
tell us what that was really like. And you were talking about that talking about declarations. There was something that you said that you really spoke when you felt like, can I do this? Is this something that I can sustain? And something that you were really declaring.
Okay.
And that really gave you strength.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about that journey.
So, I have ADHD, and so I will get talking fast. So forgive me.
That's all right.
We woke up to this flood. A lot of people slept through it because I think they were sensory deprived. There was so much lightning, so much noise. You keep telling yourself to go back to bed. That was the problem with the campers. Is probably the counselors telling them to go back to bed, and the thing that woke them up was 2 feet of water. And all the cabins are on a slope with a minimum of a 2-foot grade. So you open your door and you've got 4 foot of water with a 20 knot current. So this is not a way to wake up. That door is your safe exit. It wasn't safe. And so we talked about that. I prayed with some of the moms that night at Ingham Elementary, and Bobby Templeton did a great job. The workers there were phenomenal, the way they set it up, but there was parents just bent over double grieving. And so I prayed with some, Jody prayed with some. We had kids that sat next to us in church that we were looking for, and none of the ones I looked for made it. But I was driven really hard for the first 4 days, and about day 2, I found myself in a brush pile by myself, just on my hands and knees in the mud crying. And I felt the grief overtaking me. It was not healthy. It was a cry I hadn't cried before. It was guttural. Felt that I could have lost myself in the moment, so I cried out to God. And I said, I don't have time for this. I know I have work to do. And God affirmed that. He's like, you have work to do. And so I took the grief and the pain and I laid it at the foot of the cross, and got up and got to work. And God is faithful, and He used me. And I was telling y'all, I felt like a 20-year-old that week. And I don't do caffeine, I don't do anything. It was just, you were talking about people that didn't feel like they were doing enough. Kind of a lie that I saw from the enemy on the other side, because everybody that would walk up to me, even the rescuers, really high-level guys, high-level military guys, you would know them by name if I mentioned some of these teams. And a lot of them just, like, I want to do more, and they couldn't. You would see these people come up with food, and they would hand food to us at critical times. Any parent that's ever taken an outing with their kids, it starts with the snacks. If you don't have food, nothing happens. Your whole organization is built on emotional energy, which comes from God, right? And if your emotions are jacked, nothing's going to happen. People are going to fight. Chainsaws are going to get run wrong. Somebody's going to get hurt. People aren't going to show up. They're going to leave. And you would have these people like Sam and Gracie show up with food and water at the right time. I would be cramping up, be like, God, I need a drink. Here's Gracie and Sam walking down the river. You need a drink? I'd fire up my chainsaw in the morning by myself. God, I need someone to pull brush. Somebody would come. I just wanted to do something. I wish I could do more. Can I pull brush? Yes. I need 5 people to pull brush. Here's 5 people. I'd ask each one, what's your name? They would tell me, where are you from? I live here on the river. This is my land. We're on private property. I don't care. Do whatever you have to do. You need food. You need water. I have men. I have equipment. Bring it. Where are you from? Houston. Where are you from? Louisiana. Where are you from? Lufkin. People from all over. Nobody was asking. There was no egos. People just came together, and every single one that I talked to for any amount of time said, I wish I could do more. I feel like I'm not doing enough. To where I got to where I put my hand on their shoulder and start praying and going, look, I needed someone to pull brush, and you're pulling brush. I needed someone to roll logs, and you're rolling logs. And it was an army. Every morning, start out with one guy, and then people would just come out of the woodwork wherever you went. And it wasn't just me. You would see these just armies of people just emerge, like J3 Company, Cactus Creek. These other guys would just come together out of nowhere and just do what they were good at. We ended up, after clearing bridges up at, I can tell you the whole story. I don't want to take over the interview, so.
You're good.
Well, you're part of the interview, so it's
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're on the interview.
Yeah.
What was the other thing you asked me? Did I answer the question?
No, you definitely did,
Okay.
about what that declaration was that you made and just energized you, and how that, and also how people came up to you, just didn't feel like they were doing enough.
And
Yeah.
over sense of grief and realizing where we reach the limit, and sometimes you yourself can't not see that you passed that limit.
Apparently.
And there was a moment of that for
Yes,
you.
you had that moment.
Tell us a little bit about
Yes.
that.
So, my family, I was really urgent for the first few days because of the people I'd prayed for and some of the kids I was looking for. And there was the hope of life because of, I was telling you, I have kind of a diverse background and some minor medical training and taught biology and stuff. And I knew that there could be decomposition in some of these piles because I was seeing really densely packed, like cypress and cedar needles and dirt, and I thought, well, in some of these pockets it could hold enough heat where they would survive hypothermia. And we found big pockets in these piles, like I was saying, big enough to fit all of these chairs in, and you just need a small space for like a 7-year-old, which is some of the kids we were looking for. And so there was an urgency on those first few days, and I mean, I thought I was sleeping 3 hours. Jody told me afterwards I was sleeping an hour and a half, and nobody could really sleep, not after what we were seeing. And so lots of people calling in because of the videos. Some news agencies asked to mic me up, and I let them mic me up, that was hard. I did value my anonymity, but I wanted exposure for the community. And I think as Christians, we are a city on a hill, and you get to know a community, what their heart is when they get squeezed and hurt really bad. Sometimes you'll see what people are about. In this community, it was beautiful, what we saw. And I mean, you can't get up. We got beat up so bad. Our river that we all love, that we go to as a place of solace, and we have 105-degree summers. You have to have the river, and it just looked like a war zone. And I was calculating, when I did science classes with my kids, the energy that went through there, and I was like, okay, I guarantee you, maybe not, it wasn't all yielded at once, but the energy of that river, I know between Hunt and Comfort was at least a nuclear warhead. I guarantee you, if you put if you measured it out in joules, you would have that. It was incredible what happened. And so it was so stunning. And that's the thing, I think the emotions people are struggling with is because there's been so much death. And especially the kids that really hard, the young people that we've found. And it doesn't, just one of the ones was a grandmother, and I heard the story of when the guy lost her. He was hanging on to her and he lost her, and he was telling the family how he was trying, and just tragic stuff. And then we have these emotions that are conflicting, because at the same time we see such beautiful unity that we've so wanted to see. We've wanted to see denominations drop their boundaries, and we wanted to see them working together, and we wanted to see people in the nation united. We wanted to see even news agencies knock off the shenanigans and start to report something sensational, and they found it in the truth, which is interesting. It was raw, it wasn't pretty, but because it was the truth and because they were just reporting people, it was sensational. And that's the conflict, because we see things that we've wanted to see for years. The handshake went away. People, except for Trump, did you notice his hand was all bruised? That was because of Kerrville, Texas. Good handshake here. His hand was bruised when he left, but people started hugging. And some of the old conflicts, that we've had in our families, people put aside the silly, petty stuff. And so there's this beauty that we're seeing, and we feel hopeful about that. And at the same time, we're grieving. So I've determined it is above our pay grade. Death is certainly above my pay grade. But we're in the life business. We can do that. And we can acknowledge that, God is sitting on his throne. And people ask where this came from. I believe the Bible says the thief comes to steal and to kill and to destroy. I think if it falls under that category, that's the enemy. Our children were killed. We had a lot stolen from us, and it was destroyed. But then God says, I've come that you might have life and you might have it more abundantly. And I think that's what we're on the precipice of, and what we're in right now in real time, that we're seeing the potential for life and life more abundantly, and we're so hopeful about this. And we think we should be grieving this and we should be doing more of this, but look at the good part of this right now. And so it's a real it's like stepping into a flooding river, and we're not in control. God is, and we
Amen.
have to acknowledge that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then with all these feelings, there was a moment that people had to come and tell you.
Oh yes.
Till.
Yeah, they said
It's
lay it
time for you
down.
to go home.
So did an
Mhm.
intervention, my family, and they said lay it down,
Mhm.
and so I did, and actually ended up willingly going to a combat psychiatrist,
Mhm.
and I would have never done that in my entire life. And this guy was fabulous Christian. The amount he asked for was insulting. I wouldn't pay a guy with a chainsaw that little. And it turns out I'm not crazy. You just have to sleep. Like if you go 120 hours with 8 hours of sleep, you will at least exhibit all the signs of a psychosis, whether or not you have it. But yeah, so I laid that down and had to acknowledge that other people, a lot of my role at the first was just, I know I'm talking a lot, is that okay?
Oh, keep going.
You're.
So Moses, right, God came to Moses and he says, what is in your hand?
Mm.
What's in your hand? It's a microphone, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
What is in your hand? You know, your daughter was in your hand and she just took this little video. Unbelievable, right? So I looked in my hand, I have a chainsaw. Moses had a staff in his hand and God told him, he's like, we're gonna deliver a nation with you and that stick, just watch. And so what did I have in my hand? I had a chainsaw. And that was the only way I got in, because it was like Gestapo when you went through there. And I understand the state has protocols. There does need to be some changes on that in the future. It took me, the first day they wouldn't let me in. And I was like, all I do is log cypress on the river. I have a 4-foot chainsaw. You guys need me back there. And they didn't. And I saw the cuts they made. It was good. But it could have been better. And I saw some professional guys almost get killed because they didn't understand what tension-loaded cypress does. You know, you have a 40-foot fulcrum. It's bent over, and it's got all this energy loaded.
Oh,
There
man.
is no baseball bat in the world that can swing that fast on you. I watched a guy should have killed him and knocked him out. And we got him back. He was okay. But cut a tension-loaded cypress. Oh, it's only 8 inches in diameter. 8 inches in diameter, 30 feet long, and it unloaded on him and just knocked him out. And so that chainsaw, that got me in. And like I said, when I started it up, people would just come from everywhere, and they would help. Whatever you needed would show up, and it was unbelievable. Yeah.
Amazing.
It is amazing. and just
it's
to
very
watch
powerful.
a man with a chainsaw making a difference just because you said, I am here, use me, Lord. And see what happens is we won't know the results of all this until we're actually on the other side.
Yes.
But we're going to see good come up from it because he tells us that. And the declaration is God is faithful.
Yes, sir.
God is faithful. You listened. You took the break you needed. After working 7 days, pretty much straight through.
Yeah.
I think it was 7. I don't remember.
It was a
Don't quote
lot.
me on that.
It was a lot. We've been told. We got a little bit of the story. So it was a lot of days that you just kept plowing through. And that's a lot of
It might have been
time.
5. I don't.
Could have been.
It could have been more.
Yeah.
It could have been 9. But anyway, you were
It's a
going
lot of
through it. But
hours.
you did a lot. And the big thing, what we were able to tell him is in the room with Andrew from King's Ransom, is to show him what a video did on the other side.
Oh yeah.
And the generation, what it did is raising over $100,000, headed towards $200,000 and more,
Outstanding.
bringing attention, bringing service days. And here's the thing. Here at Destiny Global, we're not done. We're really just kind of getting started, because what you have is the initial onset of everything taking off, and then over time it starts graduating down. That's not what we're seeing here in the Hill Country. We're seeing people pick up, but then we're going to have a service day on August 15th. We're going to actually be rebuilding somebody's house that's sitting to my left here, who lost his rental property, was absolutely demolished. And God has been so faithful to care for he and Diane, and lost their RV in the river. and his motorcycle in his car and got to watch it float, if you've ever seen a Prius. And there's kind of one of the funny things is there's a car that looked just like Butch's, and I was going to send it, but April told me I can't do that because it was just a little too soon. But it looked like Butch's had parked his car on the side of
G Street
of the
Bridge.
G Street Bridge floating. I said, Butch, you can't park there, right? But the reality of it is just our little sense of humor in all this is that God is faithful, and He
Amen.
loves and He uses all of us regardless of our gifts. And you can do as much as you can, but He doesn't ask for more. And whether that's $1 giving, whether it's coming to contribute, whatever it is, whatever you feel led to do, we are here, and we're going to be here, and we're going to be faithful servants of the Lord. We're going to keep the mission. We're going to keep the purpose. We're going to keep the calling, because people are hurting in the community. And as you said earlier, that there's a time and a place for everything. There's a time of mourning, and there's a time to come together and work, and that unity piece is beautiful.
It is beautiful.
It is beautiful. And that unity brought you into our studio today.
Cool, right?
It's just amazing, right?
Yeah.
And watching what's happening. But we invite you to become, if you're watching this for the first time, you don't know who we are. Again, April introduced us. Go back and watch the beginning of it, because I'm sure you joined late. Go back and watch the beginning, right? Because Destiny Global, the King's Ransom Foundation is on fire to help those in desperate need in the Hill Country. We are here. We are serving. We're going to have a service day on August 15th, a big one. Come on down, load the truck up. We're going to get busy. I'm sure we can find some work. This guy over here probably knows a few things besides rebuilding houses and everything else we're going to be doing. And service days, people are asking, well, what about a service day? Any day here is a service day. There is more than enough work to be done.
Yeah.
People can show up, and then there's assigned places to go, literally sign up and go to work. But yeah, thank you for grabbing him, by the way.
Yeah, he was meeting Andrew, and then I walked in, and I was like, so nice to meet you, and can you come and do coffee with Ken, since we're about to go record right now. So it's perfect timing.
Thank you.
And thank you for it, because I know, as you said, like, your normal thing would be to stay, keep your anonymity, but we're so grateful that you did that interview and really showed your heart, because it did draw attention to this
The right
need
things.
and the right things. And
The right things. It was to the right heart. See, God looks at it. He looks at you weren't doing anything from manipulation. It was not. Your heart showed through.
Yeah.
And you're watching the outpouring of that come back through. And thank you for doing that, and actually blessing our organization by standing there and sharing your heart and the purpose by which you were there. And thank you for serving the families. Because for someone to see, you supplied hope that you didn't know, because you were looking. You were looking. You were looking. You were going out for the one sheep. You were looking.
So
That
true.
is hope, brother. And right now we continue the search. The things will continue on.
we're so proud of Samantha.
Yes,
which is
Samantha stepping in
daughter
to do it.
stepping in
Right.
to do that
she's
interview
a
and going
beast,
out to
man.
look, and found the right person at the right time. And it's just been amazing. And he is faithful. He
is
only he
faithful.
could orchestrate this kind of stuff to
Yeah, it's
at
big
his
brain
perfect
stuff,
time.
man.
Yeah.
This is a big thing. Yes, it's enormous. And
Yeah, that morning, as we're watching it unfold and looking at the car floating, and then we had to pull away and seeing the house destroyed, I just felt Father say to me, reminding me of Job. And he said, for this town, this city, he said, did you not see what I did for my servant Job?
Wow.
Sit still. I got this. And I'll restore this town, these people, more than they could ever imagine. That was right as it's transpiring.
Come on, man.
He gave me
Yeah.
that. And I was like, all right, it's all yours, Father. I can't do this, but you can.
Yeah.
And the storm rages all around us, but it doesn't have to rage within us
right.
because of him. He gives you the peace in the storm. And he'll bring through the storm and teach us what we need to take forward when everything settles
Yes.
and we go back to normal. We'll be able to pay it forward.
Amen.
Oh,
good.
that is really good.
It
All
is
of it was
so
just really
good.
good. I hope
Thank you
that.
for coming. Thank
Yeah,
you for
Yeah, my
sharing.
privilege. Thank you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
And thank you for what y'all are doing. That was,
Mm,
I wanted it to go back into the community. And that was the thought when I was doing that with Sam, that, hey, we need exposure.
mhm.
Our community needs help. And that was, God putting that on my heart. And thank you, God. I love it that it goes straight back to the community. I couldn't
Mhm.
ask for more, so I appreciate y'all. Thank you very much.
You're
Thank you for
welcome.
that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And if you're part of the community and you're
Mhm.
watching this, which I hope you are, because there's something special happening. There's something special happening in Kerrville, Texas, and there's something planned and special for you. Plug in, get a part of it. Share this with everybody you know, and we invite you to give and be a part of the healing that's bigger than just Kerrville, because a lot of you are feeling this and you're sitting in your living room home, not even close, remotely close to here, but you feel the pain. As David had shared earlier, we all can still bear one another's burden in our own way. Pray for those that lost, that are mourning, because it just doesn't go away, right? A few weeks,
Yes.
few months, and even those in our community that have lost loved ones, it stings and it stays. And so walking with you faithfully through this time of trial till we see each other again in person, and walking with you through this, whatever the smallest need to the largest, and watch our God who is faithful deliver all of it.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for joining with
Yeah.
us, and
Appreciate you.
thank y'all
Thank you,
for
guys.
joining us for Coffee
Thank
with
you.
Ken for the special edition with our special guest, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Thank you for joining us.
So
See you, gang.